welcome back to a very sunny and slightly windy edition of Spotlight. The boys in gold earned 3 points last weekend at home against Portland Timbers. They hit the road this Sunday to play Philadelphia Union for a big Eastern Conference matchup. We'll talk about all that and more on this episode of Spotlight. Welcome back, guys. We are at a beautiful new scene over here at Vanderbilt Health Training Center, where all the action happens off the field from Geodis Park. So happy to be here. Have you guys been here before?
Absolutely. Watched plenty of training sessions on this field. I don't think you got the chance to train on this field, if I'm not mistaken, but pretty quiet, calm before the storm right now on the off day, but feels good after 3 points.
Yes.
Yeah, it's where all the magic happens. This is where you really become a professional. It's on the training pitch. Contrary to what people would think, it's not necessarily the game pitch, because the game is when all the hard work here comes to fruition.
That's true. That is very true. Well, the hard work that happened here certainly came into fruition on Saturday night. And I want to give some credit because it was Barbie night too, and I think there was some Barbie magic. Wanted to give a shout out to our two Emily video producers who made the most amazing Barbie game day video, and I think that just added something to the atmosphere on Saturday.
I mean, yeah, shout out to the producers, but let's keep it real. Shout out to Shaft. He's the actor. He could do it all. Listen, whenever you have a Ken that really needs to take hold of all of the celebrity fun-filled action, you're talking about Jacob Schaffelberg.
The whole Schaffelberg family stood out in that. They crushed it. The vibes obviously carried over to the pitch.
Yes.
I mean, that first win of the season, it's got to feel just a little bit better, right, than just any match day 18, 19. They're all important, but that first one's got to carry a little extra.
Yeah, and I think the way that it happened as well, being able to hit the back of the net twice and, having to do it in a way where, adversity was definitely part of the first half as well, was something that I left the game feeling poised about.
All right, let's talk about those two significant goals. Jalil, let's start with you. What did you see from both Andy Nahar and Ahmed Qasem and the effect that they had on the field?
Well, first and foremost, taking a step back, it was a team performance. I thought that it was dominant throughout most of the game. They controlled the tempo. They had Portland back on their heels for most of the game. And when that happens, it's almost an eventuality that the dam is going to break. But after the first two PKs were missed, you started to get like, okay, is this actually going to happen or not? But what I love about Andy Nahar is that he always stays on the front foot when you're talking about attacking. He defends with the ball, finds himself in a very excellent advanced position, and then he takes a shot on goal, it goes in, and then, he kind of does the rest with the celebrations. As far as Qasem is concerned, his goal was absolutely excellent, proficient, and we'll get into that later.
Well, it's a great finish on a tight angle by Nahar, but that goal doesn't happen without Eddie Tagseth. And when BJ Callahan says everyone attacks, everyone defends in this system, I mean, just put on the tape of this game. 90 minutes, obviously the two missed penalties could have been 3-4-0. It just felt like Nashville's attack clicked into place, and the counter pressing really stood out to me, guys. That first goal is a great example. Nashville is funneling it down that right side. There's a giveaway. Tagseth immediately wins it back. He slips in Nahar and scores from a tight angle. It's 1-0, and able to keep your head up after two missed penalties to take the lead going into halftime. And quickly, some advanced numbers here on Tagseth. 90 minutes, 94% passing accuracy. He ran over 8 miles in this game. He had 9 possession recoveries, and obviously the assist, a masterclass of a performance in a game where Nashville central midfield just dominated.
He was by far the best player on the field. Y'all know me, I'm a team guy. You can't do anything without the team. But when there are performances that are this standout, they have to be recognized. When you talk about controlling the tempo on the offensive side, that can come when you're just feeling it. But having the mentality to always be in the right position, and if you ever get caught out, to recover the ball either from behind or from the side, are things that stood out for me with Tagseth. And it's also something that when you talk about the ethos of the club, you can't do anything at all without having a very solid heartbeat, and I feel that he is the new heartbeat of Nashville SC.
And credit to Patrick Yazbek, his midfield partner on Saturday as well.
Right. Well, Gaston Brugman made his NSC debut in the 86th minute. Jalil, how do you see him fitting into the midfield long term?
Yeah, he should fit in very well from his profile, from experience in MLS with obviously the LA Galaxy formerly. To be able to get him and weave him back into the fold, getting him more and more closer to 90 minutes match fit is going to be huge. Clean on the ball, has that mentality to be able to work on both sides of it as well. Definitely going to be somebody that is going to play a big part here in Nashville in the midfield, so long as he stays healthy.
You just have options now, right? Think about just in a couple of games, 3 games to be exact, you've had 5 players appear in that role. 4 of them arrived in the offseason in central midfield, and Brian Acosta hasn't even been available for selection yet. So just shows you how much depth Nashville has been able to build in that area of need.
Right, and we certainly want to give a shout out to Joe Willis, who kept a clean sheet in 2 out of the 3 matches in the season. Before we move ahead to this weekend's match, we're going to talk about the jaw-dropping goal. Jalil, what did you see from the second goal of the match?
Liv, the first thing I notice is that it starts with the main man right here, Joe Willis. You just talked about him getting another clean sheet. And anytime you have a buildup that starts all the way from the back and progresses into a goal-scoring opportunity, your coach is going to be absolutely delighted. Guarantee you that this entire clip is shown in the film room. There's calm possession, and anytime you have your 2 center backs approaching the half line with calm possession, you're in a very good spot. Yes, Portland is dropped back, but difficult to break down, and this is where it's unlocked right here when Qasem drops his shoulder, and then the entire field opens up, clips it to Lovitz, and now Lovitz has the time to be able to pick his head up and deliver excellent service, and Qasem does a very good job to arrive into the box late. But what is even more impressive about the goal is the finish. When you are in this spot of the field, you are taught to nod it down, let it skip off the turf, make it difficult for Pantemis to make the save, and that is why everybody is so delighted. Celebrate to the corner. The rest is history.
And then one last note on Qasem, he actually became the 3rd player in Nashville SC history to score in his debut.
Amazing.
Pretty impressive. What do we have to do to get Qasem the assist on his own goal? Like, if we're going to do secondary assists in MLS, he creates the goal with the switch out to Lovitz, return pass in after the run. I mean, who do we have to write here to give him a goal and an assist on that one play?
I mean, all I know is Daniel Love is going to be happy he got an assist. So if you want to try to take that away from him, I would like to see you try to step to the Philly man about that.
Hey,
Yeah.
They both get it. Everybody wins here.
Yeah, Dan Lovitz is a Philly boy, so you got to be
That's
careful.
true. You know
'cause
something about that.
Those Philly fans, you know what they say? No one likes us and we don't care. Anyways, let's talk about this Sunday's match against Philadelphia Union. Philly Union is coming in strong this season. They're doing really well. Lucas, what do you think that Nashville SC fans should be looking for in this match?
Yeah, speaking of Philadelphia, my one key to this match, guys, is recovery defending. I think Nashville, despite going on the road, is still going to want to control the game. That's just how BJ Callahan teams are going to operate. And when you look at a Philly team that has taken full advantage of their opportunities, specifically a player, Jalil, and Ty Barabo, who has taken full advantage, 6 goals so far in 3 games. That ties an MLS record. He's done it on 8 shots. He's been unbelievably efficient. You cannot give him time and space in the box, especially on the counter.
Absolutely, and as excellent as Andy Nahar was against Portland, he's going to need to double down and fortify that performance, because Kai Wagner is excellent at getting forward in advanced positions, and then if he has time and space or even just a little bit of a window, he can deliver very excellent service into the box. And like you said, Taribo can bounce on it. It could be other players as well, because when you look at this Philadelphia team, one thing you know, especially when you're playing in Philly, you will be under pressure, a very difficult place to play, but you also will have opportunities as well if you are resolute in your defending. So what I would like to see is good defending, which we are accustomed to seeing in Nashville. But then on the flip side, you have to be very efficient with the ball. You have to be good through the midfield and then be efficient in your chance creation as well, because you won't get too many opportunities unless you score early in the game and then it opens up.
It's a Philly team top of the Eastern Conference, and the vibes are great up there right now with Bradley Carnell, a new regime, and they're playing really well. It's going to be a big challenge.
All right, tell us, what is your one key of the match?
So going off the recovering defending aspect, like I mentioned before, what we saw from Nashville from a counter-pressing perspective against Portland was really impressive. Carrying that momentum on the road against a confident team that's going to be backed by its supporters in Philadelphia, that's a really difficult thing to do. Second road trip of the year. I want to see if Nashville can carry that counter-pressing mentality and maybe to the tune of a clean sheet to get out of there with a pointer, at least.
Yeah, I like that. And when you talk about the two styles being similar, but of course with different augmentations, what I'm looking at is anytime you play in Philadelphia, you have to be very good at advancing the ball from the midfield effectively into the final third. If you don't do that well, it's going to be a long night for you. So therefore, I'm looking for Eddie Tagseth to double down on his performance that he had against Portland, and then whoever starts alongside of him as well to carry in that load, because when you're able to do that against Philadelphia, you can have chances. And then when it comes to being efficient in the midfield, getting from midfield to the attacking third, I'm looking for Qasem to come alive yet again. If he finds the back of the net 2 weeks on the spin, you can definitely say and confirm that he has comfortably acclimated himself here in Nashville.
Make sure to catch all the live action on MLS Season Pass on Apple TV as the Boys in Gold take on Philadelphia Union this Sunday. Thanks for watching.